In my head right now, I'm trying to get musical and quickly rewrite lyrics to the song Closer by the Chainsmokers and Halsey,
Uh-huh.
but use the word Cloer, Cole Cloer instead of closer.
Oh, baby, pull me closer in the backseat of your Rover. And you know I'm not going to Chapel Hill. I'm going to Tuscaloosa. Dun,
Bum,
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 dun,
bum.
dun.
Tell
Yeah.
tell Nate Oates and Coach DeBoer that I'm coming just right over 'cause I went to stores before you. Now you're gonna get Cole Cloer. Bah,
Dun,
bah,
dun,
bah,
dun,
bah, bah.
dun, dun.
Uh, Cole Cloer, that was actually pretty solid. Proud of us for that. Cole Cloer canceled his Kentucky visit. That's the news out of yesterday, directly after his UConn visit, while simultaneously announcing that he's moving up his Alabama visit. So, moving parts here. Kentucky, out of it. No visit. Sorry. UConn did the visit. Great visit. My first thought after visiting UConn, cancel my Kentucky visit. But real quick, let's see if I can get to Bama quickly. That seems to be the thought process for Cole Cloer. Will be interesting to see where this goes. A lot of big programs still actively thinking that they can get this kid, one of the best shooters in the class of 2026. Kid that both UConn, I think Kentucky and Alabama would have great use for. But it sounds like Kentucky is dead at this point with his decision to cancel the visit. UConn fans seem to be celebrating this as not an imminent commitment, but as a victory that, right after seeing us, you canceled Kentucky. That seems like on paper it's a celebratory item that UConn fans could take. So I don't know. Help me make sense of all of this. Do you take it that way as a starting point? What does it mean for all the teams involved here?
Well, I think anytime you get a cancellation of a visit and then moving a visit up, you definitely got to take it seriously. And also when it comes to recruiting, Nate Oates and his staff, I mean, Preston Murphy is one of the best recruiters in the sport, the assistant coach for Bama. And, I think that this is a serious in play wing for Alabama and Nate Oates. And I think that Clower is a player that would fit really well into Alabama and Nate Oates' system. And I mean, gee, did you see the quotes about who he watched growing up? You're actually not going to believe this.
No.
Grant Nelson.
Okay.
That's also not true. But
Yeah, it seems like a lie.
when he commits and you see the little, you know what I'm saying, that little elephant roll tide, he's gonna say, I mean, so much Nate Oates just told me there's so much Grant Nelson in my game. That's the pitch.
It's a bad pitch.
It is a bad pitch, which is why my Gator boys are gonna come in and then we're gonna be like, hey Cole, I got this role for you. Or UConn's gonna come in and be like, I mean, we got all types of wings. We got lottery pick wings. Well, we got players getting drafted every year. I run the best offense in the game. So we might have a straight up offense versus offense battle here between Bama and UConn. Two great offenses, two different styles. Maybe that's what it comes down to for Cole.
Two different styles of personality coaching wise at minimum. Do you want to play for Hurley or Nate Oates? Those are two very different human beings in a lot of ways. You could put Golden in there too. There are other teams still involved in this recruitment. I interpret this as a pretty positive sign for UConn. Maybe I'm wrong on this. I'm just sort of reading the tea leaves of this decision, right? Domino effect is like the term we've been using repeatedly and all this stuff. To me, you come right off a UConn visit, you immediately cancel Kentucky. At minimum, that says I'm nearing a decision and I've seen what I need to see. Now, Alabama's going to have a chance. Certainly, Alabama's going to have a chance when the kid is like, I need to move this up. My timeline is moving here. Um, I won't be surprised if he flips, if you want to use that word, but it might not even be a flip. I just won't be surprised if Alabama gets him. However, if we're going through these pitches and you're like, yeah, Bama's going to tell him he's Grant Nelson, Florida's going to tell him, Gator boys stay hot, Thomas Haw at the three. I would think that UConn, with all of the championship trophies and rings and all of the pros and all of that, could just say like, hey, we had Liam McNeely, and now we have Braylon Mullins, and then next year it's you. Like that seems much more in the mold of Cole Cloer to me. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but if that is sort of the plug and play, like here's who you're going to be pitch, I would think UConn has the best one right now. I think that's exactly what they want Cole Cloer to be. It's exactly what he is. And in theory, if Braylon Mullins is only there 1 year at UConn, which is I think everybody's goal, then it opens the door for Cole Cloer next year to sort of be that guy. I'm more interested in the Kentucky side of this. I don't think that Kentucky ever felt like they led for Cole Cloer. So I'm not going to come in and condemn Kentucky for not even getting a visit here. I made some of my thoughts known on the state of Kentucky's recruiting board yesterday, and it was not received well by Kentucky fans, of course. But I think we are in a world where Mark Pope is not exactly doing his part to lead or win these recruitments, and he thinks he's leading recruitments that he's not. Um, for what it's worth, the update on Cole Cloer from the Kentucky side as little as 5 days ago, which came from the KSR guys. The written update on Cole was that UConn and NC State are coming up a lot. But update, Kentucky met with Cloer for breakfast on Wednesday. The upcoming official visit will be telling. So at minimum, Mark Pope was sending the staff to prioritize this kid this week before the visit, feeling like this was winnable, and all for nothing. They don't even get the visit. So it's not like this was just tabled to the side. And again, I'm not going to panic because again, I don't think anyone on the Kentucky side felt they were leading for Cole Cloer. But at bare minimum, again, read the room. That's my issue with Pope. I don't think he can read the room. Pope looked around and said, "Oh, I can swoop in and get this. Let's send guys to Cole Cloer this week." Can't even get him on campus? Like Nate Oates is getting him on campus. Why isn't it you that is getting the expedited visit here? If you are Kentucky and Mark Pope, the only explanation to me would be he's not recruiting. He's not winning these recruitments. He's not doing his job. So like that's the fascinating part to me. Again, Kentucky fans won't want to hear that. Kentucky fans will spin this as, oh, it must mean good things with other wings. We're in a better spot with guys. Okay, tell me the guys. Tell me who we think we're leading for right now. Because right now you're not getting visits from guys that 48 hours ago you were sending the staff in to try and sway here. And at minimum, I think that feels like a pretty major win for UConn, who again, in the write-up, even from the Kentucky side, felt UConn was the team to beat as little as a week ago.
Yeah, and look, it's all good being in on these guys and getting them on visits and going after the top guys, but you do have to close, right? That is part of the deal. You got to get across the finish line now. Kentucky spin zone here. If you're getting a Tyron Stokes, do you even want a Cole Clover? So maybe that's the spin zone here. I don't know. You can take that the way you want to, but it optically is kind of a bad look to have your visit canceled and another visit moved up,
Yeah.
and that visit be Bama. With all due respect to Bama,
Right.
you're Kentucky
Right.
and you can't get a visit.
Right.
Kind of
And,
wild.
and again, can't tell me like you weren't trying. You sent the staff this week, and 48 hours later, Cole was like, "No thanks." So something's not working there for me. And again, I've alluded to it, but I'm not going to condemn it. Like, did I think they were getting Cole Cloer? No. So in the end, this doesn't change all that much. But the signs are there that this isn't going all that well for Pope's whole target list right now. But guess we'll wait and see. One big commitment could completely cancel that out. I will put a crystal ball in from my side on Cole Cloer to UConn. You sound like you think there's more schools still at play. Do you want to make a prediction on where you think he'll go, or too muddy for you?
I'll say you. I don't know. I think either you convince me or I actually do believe it in my heart of hearts. I'm gonna say UConn.
Feels like a UConn kid to me.
Yeah, I feel
Yeah.
like that.
And I think it's a good fit too.